Welcome to the Forbidden Glass of Wine with Lady Divine, Sips and Secrets, the aging diva in her, where the wine flows and the truth refuses to stay bottled. This is your space, your release, your moment to feel seen, heard, and understood. Because here, we talk about the things people whisper about in private, but live through every single day. Tonight's conversation is for the woman who still feels desire in her body, but finds herself disappointed in her experiences. The woman who looks in the mirror and knows she is still beautiful, still sensual, still very much alive, but is quietly carrying questions no one prepared her for. Why does intimacy feel more complicated now instead of more fulfilling? Why does desire still exist, but satisfaction feels harder to reach? Why does it feel like you've outgrown the very things that used to excite you? And even deeper, why does it feel like the options in front of you no longer match the woman you have become? Because tonight, we're not just talking about desire. We're talking about disappointment. We're talking about trust. We're talking about safety, standards, and the silent decision many women are making to turn themselves off just to protect their peace. So pour your glass, because tonight, we are not sugarcoating anything. We are telling the truth, the whole truth, and maybe, for the first time, the truth you've been feeling, but didn't know how to say out loud. Our first quote for tonight. Some women don't lose desire with age. They lose tolerance for mediocrity. Let that sit. For so long, women have been told that with age, you lose your edge, your appeal, your desire. But what if that was never the truth? What if you didn't lose desire, you evolved? Now you want something intentional, something real, and what once felt acceptable now feels incomplete. So instead of asking, what's wrong with me? Ask yourself, why did I ever accept less? Because once you know yourself, you can't go back. You didn't lose desire. Our wine pairing with tonight's pour is a bold, full-bodied red wine, Cabernet Sauvignon, deep, layered, unapologetic. The kind that doesn't rush to impress you. It unfolds slowly. Because tonight's conversation is not light. It's not surface level. This is the kind you sit with, the kind that makes you pause, reflect, and face a truth you may have been avoiding. Take a moment, lift your glass, notice the depth, because just like this wine, you carry layers too. Experiences, lessons, moments that have shaped how you now choose. Now take a slow sip. And don't rush it. Let it rest. Let it unfold. Because that lingering feeling, that's what truth does. It stays with you. It makes you think. It makes you feel before it sets you free. And that's what tonight is about. Not quick satisfaction, but lasting fulfillment. So as you sip, ask yourself honestly, am I choosing what is available or what is aligned? Take another sip. And let's continue. Now, the letter. Dear Lady Divine, I got to a point in my life where I no longer want to be touched by men my age. And that's hard to say, because it's not bitterness, it's exhaustion. Not because I don't desire intimacy, because I do. Not because I don't want connection, because I still want something real. But the experiences I've been having have been deeply disappointing. And it lingers. It makes you question yourself, them, and even trying again. Some come too fast. Some take too long. Some can't create anything that feels complete. And I find myself not just physically unsatisfied, but emotionally disconnected. Because at this stage in my life, I'm not just looking for the act. I'm looking for the experience. Something intentional, something mutual, something where I feel considered. And then there's another layer, the cheating, the dishonesty, the uncertainty. not knowing where they've been. It turns me off completely. Because now, peace of mind is part of my attraction. Safety is part of my desire. I want love. I want commitment. I want something real. But what I want does not match what is being offered. And when I ask real questions about health, lifestyle, history, I'm made to feel like I'm asking for too much. But allowing someone into my body is personal. So yes, I need to know, because I am not willing to take risks for something that doesn't fulfill me. And over time, something in me changed. Intimacy now feels like something I have to protect myself from, instead of something I naturally move toward. And slowly, I've started turning myself off, not because the desire is gone, but because it no longer feels safe to express it. And yet, these same men will show up fully for younger women, but come to me half effort, half energy, half presence. And I'm left wondering, is it me? Because I know what I bring. I bring depth, I bring experience, I bring intention. So now I'm standing here asking myself, where do I go from here? Do I keep trying? Or do I finally accept that what I'm looking for may not be easy to find? So, Lady Divine, what should I do? Because I am still a woman with desire, but I am tired of settling. Let me pause right here, just for a moment, because I know this letter did not just speak for one woman. It spoke for many, more than many. It spoke for a room full of women who have been carrying the same thoughts, the same questions, the same quiet frustrations, but never gave themselves permission to say it out loud. Some of you listening right now are not just nodding your head, you're feeling this in your chest because you've lived it. You've been in that moment where you expected connection but walked away feeling empty, where you gave your time, your energy, your presence, only to receive something that felt rushed, unbalanced, or incomplete. And it's not just the physical disappointment. It's what comes after. The silence, the overthinking, the questioning. Was it me? Did I expect too much? Should I have just accepted it for what it was? And slowly, without even realizing it, you start adjusting yourself. You start lowering your expectations. Not because you truly want less, but because you're tired of being let down. You've felt the frustration, the confusion, the quiet disappointment that doesn't always show on your face, but lives in your spirit. And maybe you never said it out loud. Not to your friends, not to your family, not even to yourself in a real, honest way. Because somewhere along the way, you were taught something subtle but powerful, that women, especially after a certain age, are supposed to be grateful for attention, not selective, not expressive, not demanding, just grateful. Grateful that someone is interested, grateful that someone is present, grateful that someone chose you, even if what they bring doesn't truly satisfy you. And because of that, many women learn to stay quiet, to smile through dissatisfaction, to protect men's egos at the expense of their own experience, to pretend that it's fine, when deep down, they know it's not. And when it comes to desire, that conversation was almost forbidden, because desire in women, especially mature women, was often misunderstood, judged, silenced, labeled. So instead of expressing it, you tucked it away, you softened it, you hid it. You redirected it. But let me tell you something tonight, very clearly, very intentionally, very unapologetically. You are still a woman with needs. You are still a woman with desire. You are still a woman who deserves to feel something real, to feel something complete, to feel something that honors not just your body, but your entire being. And there is nothing wrong with that. Nothing excessive. Nothing inappropriate, nothing shameful. What's been wrong is the silence. What's been wrong is the conditioning. What's been wrong is making women feel like their needs should shrink as they grow. But tonight, we are not shrinking. We are not silencing. We are not pretending. Tonight, we are telling the truth about desire, the truth about disappointment, the truth about outgrowing experiences that no longer serve us. Because once you say it out loud, you can no longer ignore it. And once you acknowledge it, you can finally begin to choose differently. So, if you felt that letter, if it stirred something in you, if it made you uncomfortable or seen or even a little emotional, I want you to understand something. You are not alone. You are not too much. And you are definitely not the only one who has been sitting with these thoughts in silence. Tonight, that silence ends. Now, let me tell you something clearly, and I want you to hear me, not just listen. This is not confusion. This is awakening. Confusion makes you question yourself. Awakening makes you question everything else. There comes a point in a woman's life where she stops negotiating with her own standards, where she stops accepting average experiences just to say she has someone, where the idea of having a man no longer outweighs the experience of being with the wrong one. There comes a point where pretending becomes exhausting, where smiling through dissatisfaction feels heavier than simply being alone, where silence becomes uncomfortable because you finally hear yourself clearly. And what you're feeling right now is not a loss of desire. It's not hormones. It's not something that's wrong with you. It is awareness. It is clarity. It is the result of lived experience teaching you what you will no longer tolerate. You can't go back to surface. Once you felt real connection, you can't pretend that something shallow is enough. Once your body and your mind are aligned, you can't separate the two just to make something work. And that's where many women find themselves, in this space between knowing and not yet experiencing what matches that knowing. You didn't lose desire. You lost your tolerance for being underserved. Let me say that again, because somebody needs to hear this in their spirit. You did not lose desire. You lost your tolerance for being underserved. Underserved emotionally, underserved physically, underserved mentally, underserved in effort, underserved in awareness, underserved in intention. And when you recognize that, everything changes. Your patience changes. Your choices change. Your availability changes. Because now, it's not about if someone shows up. It's about how they show up. And more importantly, can they sustain it? Not out of ego, but out of experience. Not out of pride, but out of self-respect. And understand this, growth will isolate you before it aligns you, because not everyone evolves at the same pace. Not everyone learns from their experiences. Not everyone is willing to do the work to meet you where you are. And that's why it can feel like your options have become limited. But in reality, your vision has become clearer. You are no longer impressed by effort that should be basic. You are no longer moved by attention that lacks intention. And you are definitely no longer willing to sacrifice your experience just to avoid being alone. That is not loss. That is elevation. That is discernment. That is power. Let's break this down into real-life scenarios, because sometimes you don't understand something fully until you see yourself in it. Scenario 1, the he looks good on paper man. You meet a man your age. He checks all the boxes. Confident, well-spoken, established. On the surface, everything looks right. But when it comes to intimacy, something is missing. No rhythm, no awareness, no effort to understand you. It feels mechanical, like he's repeating something instead of experiencing you. And suddenly, what should feel like connection feels like obligation, like you're present, but not truly engaged. And you leave, not just unsatisfied, but disconnected. Because at this stage in your life, you don't just want the act, you want the connection behind it. And when that's missing, it doesn't matter how good it looks on paper. Scenario 2, the he has energy, but no depth man. Then you meet a younger man. The energy is different. Enthusiasm, curiosity, presence. And for a moment, you feel seen, you feel desired, you feel that spark again. But over time, you notice what's missing. No grounding, no consistency, no emotional stability. The same energy that feels exciting also feels unpredictable. And now you're facing a different kind of question. Not can he perform, but can he sustain anything meaningful? Do I choose performance or peace? Excitement or stability? And neither feels fully aligned. Scenario 3, the I choose myself space. So what happens next? You pause, you step back, you choose yourself. You protect your peace. You stop forcing connections that no longer feel right. And on the outside, you look calm, centered, in control. But in the quiet moments, there's still a feeling, a desire that hasn't disappeared, just been placed on hold. Because even in your peace, you still crave connection. You still want something real, something that matches who you've become. And that's the space many women are in right now, not lacking options, but lacking alignment. Let us hear from a woman who found herself in that exact space, trying to protect her peace, but questioning what she's losing in the process.
Lady Divine. Hi. My name is Lisa. I don't even know where to start, but I feel exactly like that letter. Hearing it out loud, it really hit me because I've been carrying that same feeling for a long time. I honestly thought something was wrong with me, like I was too picky, too sensitive, or expecting too much. But I still have desire. I still want connection, something real, something mutual, not something I'm just tolerating. But at the same time, I'm tired. Tired of hoping and ending up disappointed. Tired of trying and getting the same result. And it's not just physical, it's emotional too. Because every time it doesn't go right, it leaves doubt. It makes me question, maybe this is just what it is now. So I started pulling back. Not completely, but enough to protect myself. And over time, I started shutting that part of me down. Not because it's gone, but because I got tired of where it was leading me. And now I don't know if I'm protecting myself or disconnecting from myself. Because there are moments I feel fine, like I don't need it. But then there are quiet moments where that desire comes back, that need for connection, and I start questioning everything again. So I'm asking you honestly, am I supposed to just turn it off? Because right now, that feels like the only way to protect my peace.
No, Lisa, let me stop you right there. No, that is not what you are supposed to do. You are not supposed to shut yourself down because others are not showing up properly. That is not the solution. And more importantly, that is not protection. That is self-abandonment. Let me say that again, slowly, clearly, so it lands where it needs to land. Shutting yourself down is not protection. It is self-abandonment. Because what you are doing is taking a part of yourself that is still alive, still aware, still capable of feeling, and silencing it just to avoid disappointment. That is not healing. That is hiding. Healing would be understanding your experience, learning from it, and choosing differently. Hiding is pretending you don't need something because you're tired of it not being done right. And I understand why you got here. I really do. Because repeated disappointment will make anybody retreat. It will make you question your expectations. It will even make you question yourself. But let me correct something for you right now, because this is important. The issue is not that you want too much. The issue is not that your expectations are too high. The issue is that you have been dealing with men who do not know how to meet you. There's a difference, a big difference, because when you are dealing with someone who is aligned with you, who is aware, who is intentional, who is willing to learn you, understand you, and show up for you, your desire does not feel like a burden. It feels like a shared experience. But when you are dealing with someone who lacks awareness, who lacks effort, who lacks the willingness to go beyond themselves, your desire feels like too much because they don't have the capacity to handle it. And instead of recognizing that, you internalized it. You adjusted yourself. You pulled back so you wouldn't feel the disappointment as deeply. But here's the truth. Making yourself smaller will never create a bigger experience. You don't need less desire. You need better alignment, better selection, better communication. You need to stop asking, should I shut this part of me down? And start asking, who is capable of meeting me where I am? Because the goal is not to avoid disappointment. The goal is to stop choosing situations that are guaranteed to create it. And that requires something different. It requires discernment. It requires patience. It requires you to walk away the moment you recognize misalignment, instead of staying and hoping it will turn into something else. Because hope will keep you in places that clarity would have removed you from. You are not too much. You are not difficult. You are not unrealistic. You are aware. You are experienced. And you are finally in a place where you can feel the difference between something that looks right and something that actually is right. So no, do not shut yourself down. Do not disconnect from yourself. Do not silence your desire just to make your life easier. Refine your choices. Refine your access. Refine who you allow into your space. Because the right experience does not require you to become less. It requires you to become more selective. And once you understand that, you will stop asking, how do I turn this off? And start asking, how do I protect this until it is met properly? That is where your power is. Now let's hear from a male perspective, because there's another side to this conversation.
Lady Divine, this is Nick. I hear everything you're saying. I really do. But from a man's perspective, it's not always that simple. A lot of men are dealing with things too. Things we don't talk about. And sometimes don't even understand ourselves. There's pressure. Pressure to perform, to last, to always be the man. And nobody really prepares us for when things don't work the way they used to. Performance anxiety is real. Health issues are real. Stress is real. And sometimes, it's not that we don't want to satisfy a woman. It's that we're in our heads, trying not to fail, trying not to be judged, and that pressure alone can mess everything up. And the truth is, a lot of men don't know how to talk about it. We're taught to show up strong, confident, in control. So when something isn't right, we don't say anything. We just try to push through it or avoid it. And I'll be honest, sometimes when a woman expresses what she needs, if we're not in the right space, it can feel like pressure instead of support, like we're being evaluated instead of understood. And I'm not saying women are wrong. Your needs are valid. But there is another side to this, because not every man is being careless. Some of us are trying. We just don't always know how to fix what we're dealing with. And when it feels like we're being judged, compared, or dismissed, that can make a man shut down too. So it's not always about not wanting to show up. Sometimes it's about not knowing how to show up the way you need.
Nick, that is valid. I want to start right there, because what you're saying matters and it deserves to be heard. Let's be clear. This is not about shaming men. This is not about dismissing what men go through. And this is definitely not about pretending that men don't deal with pressure, anxiety, or challenges of their own. Because you do. And what you said is real. Performance pressure is real. Health concerns are real. Mental stress is real. And yes, many men were never taught how to communicate those things, how to express vulnerability without feeling like they are losing control or losing their identity. So I hear you, and I acknowledge that. But now let's bring in the other side of the truth, because this is where the balance comes in. This is not just about understanding, it's about accountability on both sides, because intimacy is not a one-sided experience. It is shared, it is felt, it is created between two people. So yes, a woman should have awareness. She should have compassion. She should not approach a man with judgment or comparison. But a man must also have awareness. He must have honesty, and he must have the willingness to communicate where he is instead of hiding behind ego. Because here is where the disconnect happens. When there is awareness, when there is communication, when there is effort, even limitations can be worked through. A man who says, "Hey, I'm dealing with this right now. I'm not at my best, but I'm willing to figure it out. I want to learn you, but I need patience in this area." That kind of honesty creates space. It builds connection. It removes pressure instead of adding to it. But when there is ego, silence, or avoidance, that's where frustration begins to grow. Because now the woman is left guessing, left adjusting, left carrying the experience without understanding what's really happening. And over time, that creates disconnect, not just physically, but emotionally, because intimacy is not just physical. It is emotional, it is mental, it is intentional. It is how you show up, how you communicate, how you engage, how you respond when things are not perfect. And let me say this clearly, because this is important. A woman does not expect perfection, but she does expect presence. She does expect effort. She does expect honesty, because those are the things that turn a moment into an experience. So yes, men are dealing with things, but women are experiencing those things without explanation, without communication, without clarity. And that gap right there is where frustration lives. So the solution is not for women to lower their expectations, and it's not for men to feel attacked or judged. The solution is for both to evolve, for men to become more aware, more communicative, more willing to meet a woman beyond ego, and for women to remain open, but not at the expense of their experience. This is not about choosing sides. This is about creating alignment. And alignment only happens when both people are willing to show up fully. Let's talk about red flags. Avoiding conversations about intimacy, dismissing your needs, making you feel like your desire is too much, refusing to adapt or learn, ego over effort. Let me say this clearly. If a person cannot have a mature conversation about intimacy, they are not ready to experience it with you. Here's the truth many don't say out loud. Some people don't chase younger partners because they are better. They chase them because they are easier to impress. Less expectation, less accountability, less requirement to show up fully. But you require presence. You require awareness. You require effort. You require intention. And that is not something everyone can give. There comes a moment where you sit with yourself in silence and you ask, am I denying myself or am I protecting myself? And the answer is not always easy, because sometimes protection and avoidance start to look the same. Because sometimes we convince ourselves we don't want something. We tell ourselves we're fine without it. We tell ourselves we've outgrown it, when the truth is, we just haven't experienced it the right way yet. This is what I want you to take with you tonight. You are not too much. You are not asking for too much. You are not wrong for wanting fulfillment. You are simply at a level where surface experiences no longer satisfy you, where inconsistency feels exhausting, where lack of effort feels obvious, where disconnection feels immediate. And that awareness is not a burden. It is a gift, because it means you know the difference between attention and intention, the difference between presence and performance, the difference between something that looks right and something that actually feels right. And once you know that, you cannot unknow it. You cannot go back to pretending. You cannot go back to accepting less without feeling it. So stop questioning your standards. Stop shrinking your needs. Stop making yourself easier to accommodate, just so something can work. Because the right experience will not require you to become less, exactly where you are. So if you leave with anything tonight, let it be this. You are not difficult. You are not unrealistic. You are aware. You are evolved. And you are ready for something that matches you. Tonight's wisdom: desire does not expire, but your tolerance for less should. Take another sip and let that truth settle in your spirit. Here is your divine dare for this week. Do not silence your desires. Do not push them aside. Do not pretend they are not there. Instead, define them. Take a moment and be honest with yourself. Write down what you truly want in connection, in intimacy, in experience. Not what is available, not what is convenient, but what actually fulfills you. And promise yourself this: you will no longer accept less than that. Not out of fear, not out of loneliness, not out of habit. Because you deserve an experience that meets you fully. Now, for our last quote. A woman who knows what she wants will never again settle for what is convenient. Because once she has experienced herself fully, convenience will never feel like enough again. And now, my darlings, take that final sip, because every good thing comes to an end. This has been the Forbidden Glass of Wine, Sips and Secrets with Lady Divine, where we don't just sip, we speak truth, where your voice is heard, your desires are honored, and your truth is never too much. Until next time, stay bold, stay desired, stay aligned with who you are becoming, and never forget, you are allowed to evolve.